Hello, this is Joseph Sanarcangelo, and welcome to my course on Pytorch. So in this video, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the course and some tips on the sections, and that's about it. So section 1, we'll go over tensors. We'll go over tensors in 1D and 2D, and some basic functions, data types, all the usual things you'll need. And then module 2, we'll go over the gradient module. And this will give you the fundamentals of gradients. We won't use it too much throughout the course, but I think it's still pretty important to know. Then we'll talk about the dataset class. And this is a really cool feature in Pytorch. It allows you to do all kinds of cool things with your data. So module 2, we'll talk about linear regression. And this module is important because of linear regression. This module will teach you the fundamentals of Pytorch. It'll teach you basically how to build a model and train it the Pytorch way. And it'll connect a lot of what we learned, the theoretical aspects of what we learned with respect to linear regression. And a lot of these are a little more difficult with the more advanced models, but it'll give you a connection between the fundamentals and of how Pytorch works. And of course, we'll discuss linear regression, all kinds of linear regressions. And then it'll also give you some review of loss and cost, or if it's your first time, some basic definitions that you'll need. So module 3, we'll talk about classification. We'll talk about logistic regression and softmax regression. Now, I highly suggest you spend some time on softmax regression because it's basically the building blocks for our classification neural networks that we mainly discuss in the course. And then I provided some overview of cross-entropy loss, and I always get confused with cross-entropy loss. So I defined it in terms of maximum likelihood estimation, just to make things a little more intuitive for everybody, including myself. So module 4, we'll talk about feedforward neural networks, and we'll basically discuss what is a neural network, and we'll build one in the context with respect to Pytorch. We'll talk about backpropagation. This is just a section more based on theory, but I thought it was pretty important because backpropagation was really important in the development of neural networks. So no course on neural networks would be complete without backpropagation. We'll talk about different activation functions. We're not going to cover them all, but we'll talk about the main ones. Then we'll talk about how to build deeper networks in Pytorch. So module 5, we'll go into some methods for deeper networks like dropout, initialization, batch normalization. We'll discuss other optimization methods. And finally, module 6, we'll talk about computer vision networks. We'll go over the basics like convolution, max pooling, and then we'll build some convolutional networks. We'll do the missed example and a simple little example to help clarify everything. And then we'll talk about pre-trained networks. So just a couple of notes. There's no GPU support in this course right now, but fortunately at Pytorch, it's pretty easy to convert to CPU and GPU, and hopefully we'll be able to add that soon. I used a lot of simulated data in this course just because it's a lot faster to get results, and you can play around with the data a lot quicker. You can see what things are. And of course, I've included the missed data set. And I'd just like to thank the online community. Pytorch is a pretty new library, and I'm really amazed how much online is out there. I literally half an hour to find what I needed on the most part. And yeah, I'd like to thank everybody who helped me out, either directly or indirectly with their blogs. Try to reference the main ones in the notebooks. If I missed anybody, let me know. And finally, my LinkedIn is on the notebooks. So add me if you have any comments, suggestions, let me know. And I'll be updating the course as the newer versions of Pytorch come out. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoy the course.